दिल्ली में एआईसीसी मुख्यालय में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है। गौरव गोगोई मीडिया से रूबरू हो रहे हैं। आइए आपको सीधे लिए चलते हैं दिल्ली एआईसीसी कार्यालय।
Even take India's concerns seriously. They don't even bother to acknowledge India's demand. They have made no reference to Ladakh. And that is why we feel that the recent meeting between Jaishankar and Wang Yi was failure. It did not yield any substantive outcome. And all of this is because Prime Minister Modi's image should not be affected. And therefore, our demand is very simple, that many reports have stated that China has built its military infrastructure in an unprecedented manner in Aksai Chin. We have seen 5G networks in the LAC, 5 new airports, a large bridge across Pangong Tso, and a notable increase in air activity. So we have seen the Chinese building up its infrastructure, and Prime Minister Modi continues to remain a passive spectator. And therefore, I would repeat the advice that Rahul Gandhi ji often gives to his fellow countrymen. Prime Minister, daro mat, don't be afraid. Take the Chinese threat seriously and head on. And at the end of this press conference, at the end of my suo motu statement, we have 5 specific demands. Demand number 1 is that there should be a press conference in which the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, and the Foreign Affairs Minister, all 3 should speak in one voice and present the truth and nothing but the truth to the people of India. Demand number 2, a 2-day special discussion in the upcoming Parliament session. Demand number 3, a dedicated session on the Chinese secure threat on our border in a Parliament Standing Committee on Defense. Demand number 4, the position of Chief of Defense Staff continues to remain vacant. We request the Government of India to appoint the most appropriate person at this post of Chief of Defense Staff. And demand number 5, the recent Agniveer scheme should be withdrawn back. Many leading military commentators, experts, retired senior officers from the armed forces, air forces, and Indian Navy have criticized this scheme. These are the people who have actually served at our maritime borders, at our physical borders. They know the situation on the ground. If they are criticizing the scheme, then the government of India should not be in a haste. Prime Minister should not value his ego over our defense forces, and this scheme should be withdrawn. So that's my opening statement. And if you have any questions related to this subject, अगर आपके कोई भी प्रश्न इस संदर्भ में है, तो मैं उन प्रश्नों का उत्तर देने के लिए हाजिर हूँ. We take the Chinese expansionist efforts very seriously, whether across the entire border of our country, whether it's the northeast or whether it's Jammu Kashmir or Ladakh. I think the government of India's approach has been extremely weak. Prime Minister Modi specifically has been very facile and docile on this approach. In fact, Rahul Gandhi ji in the past has said the Prime Minister Modi has been extremely docile, and therefore it sends a very wrong message that the Prime Minister and his entire machinery, instead of pressing on the Chinese to acknowledge the seriousness of our demand, has completely failed to do so. It is a matter relating to India's territorial integrity and sovereignty, yet China continues to ignore the scale of this issue, did not even mention it in his statement in the most recent meeting between the Foreign Affairs Minister of India and his Chinese counterpart. And for all these reasons, I again reiterate our 5 demands: press conference by Prime Minister, Defense Minister, External Affairs Minister, dedicated discussion with the Parliament Standing Committee on Defense,